Joe Cortez was about to come to me for an interview. That is ridiculous. Joe Cortez, Manny Pacquiao, PacBradley3. What's your initial impression?
I was super surprised of Manny's comeback, how great he looked. He still had a little spark of the old flash, and he showed that he's not ready to retire, even though he says he's going to retire. But you know, when they put those greens on top of the table, they start putting those numbers up, I think it'll change the value. Being that he said tonight 50-50, it's a chance 50-50 one way or the other. So that means he's not really 100% sure. Once he gets home and starts thinking about if he wants to keep on giving that money out to help out his people out there, another 50 million ain't going to hurt. So being that he looks so good, didn't get hurt, he'll probably end up coming back. I think it'll be a good way to go out on top, you know, go out as a winner. And but he knows what he's doing, and he knows whether he should really retire or not. But I think he won't retire. Or he may retire for a little while. Those 9 months that he took off, I think did him good, because that's why he kind of recharged his batteries. He came back much sharper this time than he looked last time when he lost to Mayweather.
You think he's satisfied with or do you think he's looking at things like him placing second, like, you know, he won the trilogy with Bradley, but of course he has a loss against Mayweather. Do you think that is what will probably bring him back, just knowing that Mayweather has that win over him, or what?
Well, you know, there's two ways of looking at it. You know, he'll say, people will say, look, Mayweather fight, they'll probably end up buying it now because you say your shoulder wasn't hurt tonight, so there's no excuse. So he said, my shoulder's good, and then maybe the fans, maybe that he looks so good tonight, the fans will probably try to put that bait out there and say, all right, come on, they want more shot. And that's another $100 million guarantee, you know, what the hell. I'll come back from the dead for $100 million. That's why he probably will too, you know, so that's the way I see it. And you know, in boxing, that's the way it is. He looks good, he's young, and he can help out a lot more people by not retiring yet.
What was your impression after the third round? Like, just after the first 3 rounds, who did you think that was leaning towards by that point?
Well, I thought they were leaning towards Pacquiao, but I said, man, in the first fight that they had, it was the same way. He was coming out ahead, he came out ahead coming out the gate, but then he fizzled out the second half of the fight. This time, he finished strong, he ended up strong. I mean, he started strong, ended up strong, so, you know, that's boxing for you, you know. Remember when I refereed Roberto Duran against Iran Barkley, everybody thought Duran was finished, you know, at the age of 35. He had one of his better performances that night, came back and won the middleweight championship. So, you know, boxing is tricky. You never know. Just when you think you know it all, you find out you really don't.
Yeah, you said that was probably the most amazing fight you've ever run.
Well, Roberto Duran is an amazing fighter, great athlete, and I'll tell you, but he fought that middleweight championship and beat Iran Barkley. It was one of my better fights as a referee.
What's your dream fight today? Who do you want to see in the ring?
Well, you know, my dream fight would be to see, I don't know, that's a good question. Canelo Alvarez would be a great fight to match him up against somebody like Keith Thurman, you know. But Keith Thurman is a welterweight, so, you know.
But he's fighting Khan. We were just talking about that. It was like, if he's going to fight Khan, he might as well fight Keith Thurman.
Yeah, if you fight Keith Thurman, I think that'd be a good matchup, you know. But let him fight. Keith Thurman is going to fight Sean Porter now in June, so let's see what happens. And maybe if Keith Thurman wins, then they can probably try to match him up against Canelo Alvarez. But you never know.
Who wins those 2 fights? Khan, Canelo, Porter, Thurman?
They're very competitive fight, you know. Thurman hasn't fought in a while, so he's kind of been inactive on the shelf for a while. Again, it can be good for him because it can be like it was for Manny. He rested up, he got his batteries recharged, came back good. Sometimes he can be rusty, so that fight can be a toss-up. And you know, boxing is strange. And then you get Canelo and Amir Khan. Canelo should, on paper, he should beat him because he's stronger, he can punch harder, and I'm sure he's going to come in a lot heavier, but we'll see. It's going to be a good fight. Canelo should win that fight, and the winner of Keith Thurman and Canelo, Keith Thurman and Sean Porter are going to be a tough one to call right now, but it'll be a good matchup.
You can't lean towards